4080. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady.
Everybody happy. This is industry rule number 4080, where qualitative content counts. Tally, you see me for a little bit, and today we're going on. That's not. I don't want to say on a tangent, but we're going definitely in an additional arena. That's probably the best way I should put it. Right. Okay. Next to me is John Stu, independent filmmaker. How far back we go?
90s.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said when we came in, right? We go this far back. We did the homecoming runs together.
right.
How many years? We did like 4, maybe like 5 years in a row, right?
Yeah.
Between
Howard homecoming,
we did Howard.
Yeah.
Did Howard a few times.
Yeah.
We did Howard. Remember we did Howard one year. We're gonna age ourselves. Remember we did Howard on a whim one year.
Oh,
remember it was like Wednesday. And we said on Thursday, we're going to leave on Friday to go down to homecoming. And I think between all of us, we had like $50.
Probably. We was kids. I mean, you're in your 20s. You don't care about money. You just go, right? So that's what we did. And we had fun.
And remember, we drove all night. Mm-hmm. We drove all night. And then we was looking, and our dumb ass was looking for a hotel room the next morning. Recognized that all the hotel rooms was booked.
You know, it's always, in D.C., it's always the same. I've been at that hotel a number of times. In D.C., it's always the same hotel. But that's where we ended up.
That's where we ended up.
I don't know the name of it, but yes.
And I think it was, wow.
If you remember the name, you're crazy.
It's not name. I just remember how many. It was a one room jump off.
Bro, I got the picture.
And we were all in there trying to make it work. I remember I ran to the bathroom first before everybody. Hey, yo, I was pissed. I was like, I'm washing my ass. Fuck y'all. I'm washing my ass. I ran here. We been riding all night. Fuck all that.
I got the picture. We was wilding out. Crazy. We was kids. We was young. We was 20s. And we have fun. So
that's like even a good way to kind of jump into the conversation, because at that point in time we were all music orientated, right? The clique in general on one side of the fence, right? Right. Groups was making demos, playing songs for each other, that type of stuff, right? We would all run together, have things in common. And then
you had a group. I mean, Encore Productions.
Wow!
I don't want to mention that.
Have to edit that part.
Oh, okay. I'm saying I shot the first
worst
video.
name in hip hop history.
Encore Productions.
Oh my God!
Well,
it's so big.
Productions.
I know, right? Right.
But yeah, we had fun, man. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was good stuff. All right, ready for my memory? I got one memory.
Go for it.
Ken, you ready? Keeper of the Castle.
I have it on tape. I have that. He said "Keeper of the Castle," which is a demo I had. It was great. I have it. I just got it on.
He said it's great.
I just got it on DVD, and
it's on DVD, so the tape won't pop.
Bro, I can send it to you, and I have it on digital. I have it. They sent it to me email.
Oh man!
And so,
well, Kid, you got to talk to this guy.
And then the B side of that was wrapped into me. We shot that in 1212, the famous 1212 studio where Paul C was the ill engineer, and we all, if you're a producer or a rapper,
back then,
you know who Paul C is, right? I recorded that with his assistant, and it was an iconic track to me. To me,
yeah, I'm totally loving that. It doesn't matter what it is. It's the best. It's the greatest. It's iconic. I love that.
Ken knows what that is.
All right. So this goes back. We was talking on one of the other podcasts about like there was a time where, there wasn't producers on every corner. The studio wasn't on every corner, and and when you knew somebody that had access to a studio, that was a thing. That's like a hookup.
Absolutely.
Because you didn't have access, and even if they were good or not, they just actually had the equipment and would let you in, and you would pay them. Right. But now producers there's 5 on every block, right? Because you could basically make beats and do film on the computer now.
Yeah.
Whereas before then that was it. So when you spoke about Paul C, I was like, that's interesting because yes, he was a name that was known as far as a place to go if you can get hooked up. Right, to get stuff done.
Right.
But now you're tripping into exactly why you're here. Okay. You were recording videos back then for the songs you were demoing.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean,
And then walk that into your how you got in
well,
film.
we always was recording demos, and we had deals. We had certain deals offered to us, whether we took them or not. But um, I always was saying, "Oh, I love the rap stuff, but I always want to do video, right, and film." Everybody didn't have a cell phone back then that recorded video. It was nowadays you can record everything, drop of a dime. Back then we didn't have that, right? So um, I went to school for film and video production. That's what I went to college for. And at the same time, we was doing hardcore hip hop in the basement, producing, rapping, all the stuff. You guys, my cousin Ken, we was all doing that, and because we are hip hop, we've been doing that from day one. Um, but I always had a knack for film and video, and so I went to school for it. And so after the hip hop stuff, of course, I transferred over into film and video, and that's what I did. And when I came up, I used to shoot when I was in school. I used to shoot for Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box. I was one of his cameramen. After that, some of that footage, 18% of that footage, which is a weird number, is mine. We used to shoot for Ralph, and Ralph would hire us as kids and, hey, shoot this for us. Come to this club. Come to that club. There's stories, and so we would go to clubs, shoot for Ralph, and he'd pay us our money, and that's what it was. And but my ultimate goal was I want to shoot a film. I want to shoot a film. I want to make a feature film. Feature film, not I want to shoot a film, but a feature film. And so I learned in school how to do that. And also, I mean, the other flip side of that is I worked for network TV. I worked in network TV. Name the network. I probably worked for them. And so
And
that's how
what
I
was
came up.
that? And what were the roles? Like, how did the roles working for network TV prepare you to start doing film? Like, what roles did you do within that environment?
It's a cousin, right? So network TV is a cousin to film and film production. Network has nothing to do with film, but it's a cousin. I would work for network TV, and that's my paycheck, my day-to-day job. But at the same time, I want to shoot a film.
So, were you filming for network
No,
television?
zero. It has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
So I worked behind the scenes uh, uh, technical guts of network TV, and then on the side I would say I'm shooting a film, I'm writing a script, and I'm shooting a film. And my first film was Ice Grill, was 2020, 2001, and it's called Ice Grill, and that was my first feature. It did really. I mean, we shot it with a fucking little camera, little DV camera, and for some reason, they called me and say, "Hey, we want to buy that." I was like, "No, no, thanks." And they called me again and said, "We want to buy that." Okay, whatever. Okay, and we sold it. We spent 15,000 on it. We sold it for 50,000. And they put it out there. Distribution company. They put it out there, and for some reason, it blew up. And Star from Buck Wild, Hot 97 was talking about it. My cousin calls me up. He's like, "Yo, they talking about your film on the..." Like, what? They talking about your film on the Star Buck Wild. He hates everything. He's talking about your film on Hot 97. Like, a word? We did maybe 200,000 copies after that. And we used to go to 125th Street on the Blockbusters. This is Blockbuster days, people. Y'all don't know what Blockbusters is, but this is Blockbuster days.
Father does.
Right. I go to the Blockbusters. We got the whole wall. One thing about our fan base, they was like, "Yo, they keep stealing these shits. These motherfuckers are gangsters. They stealing these shits. They not bringing them back. They taking them." And so that's how I got in the game with Ice Grill, my first feature. And so, and we shot that hand to mouth, meaning I got my boy from college. He shot it. We produced it. I used friends and family to use their locations, and it became something. It had a spirit. It had a heartbeat. You know, a film has to have a heartbeat. You could there's just a lot of urban films out here, but it has to have a heartbeat. And if it has a heartbeat, it will go somewhere, and people will identify with it. And so that's what Ice Grill was. It had a heartbeat. It's timeless.
I want you to keep going, but I got a question in between because I want them to understand certain aspects of like what the roles are and what they actually do tangibly. Okay, so when you say you produced it, walk me through like what that tangibly is. Like, what is a producer actually doing?
A producer?
Yes. Like
For
when
a
you said,
film?
like you say, you for Ice Grill. Like talk about for Ice Grill. When you were producing Ice Grill, what were you actually doing? Like, define.
I mean, it's not just Ice Cream. Any film, a producer, what the role of a producer is to, okay, solidify the locations, solidify the camera department, the DP, which is director of photography. Make sure they know what to do. Make sure they know where to go to shoot. Make sure everything's in place. So when I show up, I can just shoot. I don't care about anything. I just want to shoot. I don't want any road bumps in between shooting, and that's what a producer does.
So the producer sets the scene of all the
Basically a manager.
of all the organization.
In music terms, industry rule 4008, 100, 1000. It means, hey, I'm your manager. Go ahead and go do that. That's all it means.
Okay.
And so
it's a manager A&R role.
In music terms, yes. But as a film person, a producer sets up your locations, make sure your crew is there, your staff is there, your food is there, and everything is there, ready to go.
Okay.
A producer can produce from home. They can just make calls. You're on scene. We're on scene as a production crew and get things done. So that's what the producer does. They set all the ground level roles of making shit happen.
Okay. All right, that's good.
If that means anything.
No, it makes again a lot. I don't know if somebody has actually said those words back to back to back after the word producer, because a lot of times words like I'm a director, I'm the producer, I'm the engineer. I'm saying that not that those words aren't mentioned, they are mentioned, but they're not necessarily defined. So what happens is that you have younger people coming up and saying, I'm a producer. You're like, do you even know what the hell a producer is? Right. Do you know what they actually do in totality?
In film?
Right? No, but say, like you mentioned something that I'm sure people know. If you don't do it, you wouldn't know this. You mentioned curating the talent, make sure the locations are straight, making sure that you said technical is being accessed.
Right.
But you also mentioned something.
DP's department.
The DP. But you also mentioned something I've never heard before. I make sure the food is there. They might even know that. I'm saying that's like they might even know that like these young guys. Well, I'm a producer. Well, are you making sure they're eating?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't know it's part of their role.
Yeah.
It's part of their role as well, too. So those are things I look for when we kind of get into these conversations. Like when people say, I'm an A&R guy. Do you even know what A&R, what the words mean? Right?
What does it mean?
Artist and repertoire.
Right.
But what is that? And then going into what does that dictate? So that's why I wanted to break that down. So that's fine. That's fine. So cool. All right. So go back to your story. So you said this distribution company did 200,000 copies.
We did a lot.
And that put you in the game.
Right. That put us in the game, and then fast forward, we did another project called Fugazi, which is a comedy. I said, I'm done with this hardcore gangster shit, because we had real cats on set when Ice Grill with guns, real guns, and we just it was so hand to mouth. We had real cats on set with real guns, real thugs, and we shot the shit, and people related to it. That class or that genre related to it, and they loved it, and so if Ice Grill, you Google it, Ice Grill, you either loved it or you hated it. I had people contacting me saying, "Yo, I sit down and watch with my son. It's a cult classic. I watch it with my son and my kids. It's a cult." I'm like, what? Or people say this was a high school AV movie. It was a high school video movie. Like, yo, I got the worst compliment and the best compliment.
The kid said, "I watched it with my
son." There was
son.
nothing in the middle.
Like, you did that for what?
It's bugged out. It's weird, and so we that's Ice Grill, and then we did a comedy called Fugazi with Talent and Smokey and Cool Bubba Ice and those guys, and it was a cool. It was like Fridays, subliminally I probably bit off of Fridays, but it was It was a great New York Northeast film where people down south took to it. My analytics were coming back as people down south in Kentucky and Memphis and all these places, they loved the film. Don't know why. Don't ask me.
I have
But
theory on that.
it's called Fugazi. And so that film was my second film, and it was cool. We used some new technology. We used the Sony Alta-Cine to shoot it. Google that camera, and it was the same camera they used for Star Wars. And at the time the technology was ill. It was HD just came out. It was a beautiful film.
Mm-hmm.
But that was our second film. And then my third film was Hard Rock, which is a hardcore, edgy film with a black lead and a white lead. And that was cool too. Lionsgate picked that up. And they was like, yo, we like this shit. We want to do a part 2. I was like, yo, we figured that out. But that came out in 2005. Fugazi was 2002. Mm-hmm. And Ice Grill was 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And so that film, I'm not going to go over to that, but yeah, Hard Rock was a great film, and Lionsgate picked that up. But,
so, what space are you in now? Are you still like
I'm in development. I have so many projects that are in development. When I say development, I mean script stages, right? That means developing the script. My next project that we produce is going to be something that it's going to go somewhere in terms of, it's a new lane. It's a new lane. It's a new era. It's a new path.
Because when you did your previous 3 films, just again, I'm speaking baby novice, so you'll correct me. There weren't things like Apple TV and
that's what I'm talking about.
Amazon Prime, stuff like that, where you could put
right.
where you could put full blown films. Like they're talking about Denzel, just speaking apples to apples. They're talking Denzel doing this fantastic performance in this Macbeth version of the movie Macbeth that's just coming out. It's an Apple TV movie, right? Okay. It's not a feature film movie, right? They're speaking about how great Will Smith is in the King Richard movie, right? It's a HBO Max. It's an HBO Max movie, right? So I'm just saying that from
no, it's a theater. No. It's a theater movie.
Release.
The reason it's an HBO Max movie is because theaters are not prevalent right now. If this was 10 years ago,
sure.
15 years ago, that'd be in the fucking theater.
Sure. I'm recognizing this, but I want you to go back to what you were saying, what you're doing right now with development, right? I'm recognizing now that the big feature film movies are the ones where the money's on the screen. So, for example, like a King Richard movie should absolutely has every right to be a big
right.
film distribution, right? But they're saving that for the Disney movies and for the Fast and Furious movies because that's what those budgets are. Those other ones that can cost, for lack of a better phrase, and you know budgets better than I do, the ones that are, say, for argument's sake, $50 million or less, all right, where it's more people and not sound effects and not action, you know what I'm saying, that type of stuff, and not explosions, we could put those right straight to Netflix and kind of be okay, rather than doing the big action thing.
Yes and no. Okay, so technology has changed. With COVID, that's changed everything as well. Theaters are not prevalent anymore in terms of, okay, theater first. We don't do that no more. Mm-hmm. Now what they're doing is they're cutting it in half. They're saying, yo, theater, you got a few months, maybe 2, 3, and then we're going to straight DVD streaming or not DVD, straight streaming from the internet, right? HBO Max, right? So
how much is that? One more small thing, and I'm gonna let you run.
It's like 30.
I'm gonna let you run. How much does that have to do with the fact that we could damn near get a screen in our house as big as a movie screen?
Yeah, that's why they just go straight to your house. They don't care about theaters anymore. And what the theaters are doing, it's weird because my local theater in my neighborhood, I haven't been downtown in a while, and I ain't gonna tell you where I live, but my theater, my local theater, I went downtown. I was like, what the fuck is this? Movie theater now.
Uh-huh.
Bro, there's a fucking bar. There's a restaurant. They got the big chairs where you can sit and eat with your baby girl, bring food. They're changing that so that you can feel like you're at home and at a bar, and they're giving a different experience because it's just not sitting in the chair and looking at the theater no more. We can do that at home. So now give me something where I feel like I'm going out and hanging out.
So
right.
Give me an experience.
Right. So I'm like, they changed the whole I was like, that's why they did it, because they got 30 days, either 30 to 90 days, I think it's 30, to show that film before it goes to DVD. I mean, before it goes streaming to your house. they trying to survive. They're trying to figure out a way to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Back when I was in college, theaters with the Supreme. That was, oh my God. I went to theater.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about theater no more. I could do units just going from my home. Straight streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Theaters means nothing. And they're getting killed. So that's why they're giving you this extra incentive to come to the theater.
Okay, got it. Let's go back to the point you was talking about how you have things, how you felt about development, things you're working on development-wise.
Well, I'm working on listen, most important part of any film, I'm telling these young filmmakers that, is the script. If you got your script correct, I don't care if you shoot it crappy. I don't care if you write it. I don't care if you the actors are crappy. If you write it correct, that's where the key is. That's your film. Somebody's gonna buy it. If you have a film with a beginning, middle, and an end, somebody's gonna buy it. If the writing is good, somebody's gonna buy it. And so, what I would tell young filmmakers is make sure your script is correct. I have films in development where I'm developing the script, developing the project, developing the idea, and it's all about ideas. Ideas are stolen all the time in this game. Like you don't have unsolicited meetings with your idea because they'll steal it. It's just a fact. And so, yeah, I'm developing. What am I doing? Developing scripts. I do little projects here and there, music videos here and there. But my point is, be careful what you show people. They will steal it. And you'll 3 years later, you'll say, "Oh, that's just like my project." Probably is.
What are your thoughts on? We were joking about this. I'm gonna give you the yin and the yang. Okay. What are your thoughts on, like, what 50 is doing? And when I say what 50 is doing, I'm thinking like how he's doing.
No, you didn't just say 50.
Watch where I'm going with this because it's both sides of the coin, and it's both about culture. When you see shows like BMF and shows like Power, right, and it speaks to a life, and it speaks to a lifestyle, that's being perpetuated, but yeah, he's making money off of it. Okay, and then you see what Tyler Perry's doing with the movies that he kind of puts out, and they're both successful, right? And then I'll add in, I'm gonna throw a wild card that has nothing to do with film, but has to do with culture, okay? Because each one of them speak to a level of what they're doing culture-wise. So I'm curious on your thoughts about what Tyler Perry's doing, what Curtis Jackson is doing, and I'm giving you another wild card. It's TV, it's not film, and what Mona Scott is doing.
Mona.
With the love and hip hop thing, because if you take a step back, okay, and I'm just going to say it in an odd way, they're all financially making goo gobs of money off of, and I'm just saying this creatively, and I'll let you jump in, by stepping on culture.
No, I don't. I disagree. I don't think they're stepping on culture. They're emphasizing culture, or they're, what do you call it? They're emphasizing culture, and they're just putting a light or magnet on culture. They're recording what maybe the other culture won't, right? So
let me throw 2 cents in there, right? So I don't know if I'm gonna start with 50 for a second, all right? And I agree with you when you're telling the stories of what's happened with Empower and what happened with BMF, right?
Southside.
Okay, and I get it. But at what point do you? And I'm gonna flip. At what point do you stop making mob movies? How many times can you make Goodfellas?
No.
How many times can you make Casino?
No. 50's. Listen.
And I'm not saying those movies. I'm saying that what 50 is doing is in theory the TV Black Scorsese version of what Scorsese's doing, because Casino. Right, those mob movies all have a play. I'm 50, sorry, I'll let you run with it. Okay.
50's doing what he knows, right? He's not doing some lollipop movie that's set in the Midwest. He's doing what he knows, and I kudos to him, right? BMF, Power, which Power and Raising Canaan, all those joints. He's doing what he knows. He never stepped out of what, even For Life. Have you watched For Life or ABC? The ABC gave him a deal, and I guess they canceled it because the ratings wasn't there. But it was about a black guy who became his own attorney from prison, and he became his own attorney and got himself out.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody came to 50 with that and said, listen, look at this story. And 50 did it. I got tons of stories like that for 50. But my point is, I'm not going to down what he's doing or the lane he's chosen because that's what he knows, right? It's all urban orientated, but it's done really well. He has a team of writers, a team of producers, and a team of staff to make it come across really well. People are fucking infatuated, infatuated with BMF, Power, Raising Canaan. They're infatuated with it. They watch that shit like a soap opera. So kudos to him. Back in 01, 02, I sat in the studio with 50. Me, him, Shah, my partner. We smoking, 50 didn't smoke. We smoking. 50 goes to me, he goes, yo, this is 01. 50 was sleeping on the couch. Yo, how you do a film? I didn't pay him no mind because this is 01. I'm in my head's big at the time. He goes, yo, how you make a film? Thugged out. 50 thugged out. Yo, he slapped the shit out of you. He's a real G. Yo, how you make a film? I'm like, read a book. And it wasn't a diss. I really meant to tell him to read a book.
Yeah.
Meaning, read how to format a script. Read how to do a script. And fast forward, agrees that right now.
Look what we're doing right now.
Right. So he was my point is, he was always into filmmaking. This is not something funny for him or new or let me jump on the bandwagon. He loves to do this.
All right, that's a fair point. Again, I'm asking for context because, like I said, I'm bringing up 3 different areas, right? And the criticism would be, like you brought up a very good point about him doing For Life, the show For Life, right?
Yeah, ABC picked it up. What's the problem?
No, because For Life is absolutely not him, for lack of a better phrase, capitalizing on the culture looking bad. Per se, I'm speaking to not me.
He's doing what he knows.
I said he's doing what he knows. But I'm saying, but that's the good argument because every single thing isn't BMF, right? So for argument's sake, so that's the case. So now walk me through this one because it's a completely different lane, but it's also a level of culture, how it's being perceived, how it's being. Walk me through like the Tyler Perry dynamic of what makes that what it is. Now, I mean,
Tyler Perry,
and the reason why I'm saying is that I'm saying this from a naive standpoint. I personally have not seen anything that Tyler Perry has done. And I'm saying it. I haven't.
Turn on BET.
I haven't. Well, okay. So watch this part 2. Something else I don't do. Okay, I don't turn on BET. Okay, not because I'm not criticizing what they do or what they don't do. I look at all of this like being in a different industry. Like I look at it as collecting comic books. Okay, and let me give you my example. Okay, is that there's 1,000 different things that people comic books. And I might not be a Batman guy. I might be a Spider-Man guy, right?
Superman comic just sold for 1 point.
Okay, fine. But I'm saying I might not be, but I might not, but I might not be a Superman guy, right? It means I missed out on a lot of good stuff, But I'm just not a Superman guy. I might be a Spider-Man guy. I might be a Captain America guy. So that's the point that I'm making when I'm speaking to like what's happening with entertainment with TV, right? I might be a reality TV buff. So within that, I don't necessarily like to watch films from other Tyler Perry. I'm very into reality TV. So I'm asking the question so I, as well as the audience who doesn't do it, and I might be in the minority, like what's the draw? Like what's the draw?
May I?
What's the magic?
May I?
Yep.
You got to understand. You see, with cats like that, you got to look at their history, right? You got to look at how they started. Tyler Perry was sleeping in a car. This is America's greatest country in the world. Y'all can say what y'all want. But this is America. He stepped in a car, right? And then he wrote plays, right? And you probably know all this. He stepped in the car, he wrote plays, and I'm skipping, of course. I don't know details.
Right.
He stepped in the car, he wrote plays. The plays got popular in the Bible Belt. I'm going to say this again slow. In the Bible Belt, his plays got popular. From there, he said, write a film. He wrote the film. Lionsgate picked up the film. Rest is history. Because now you got a distributor who you made money for. Turned around and bought that house he owned. Matter of fact, Matter of fact, the Plays bought him that house. He took that house, shot the film, and Lionsgate was like, "Cool, y'all, you made me money." Rest is history. He had a home base from there. So,
and that's that Bible
Belt carried Tyler Perry, the mothers and father, the people going to church down there in the north and the south.
If it was 30 years ago, they would call the Chitlin Circuit, right?
Whatever, right, exactly.
Right.
So that's who carried Tyler Perry. And then he went on from there. That's why he's on BET and he does all these off spins and all this shit.
Because even
he's a beast. I love him.
Because even then, his base of where he's
and
putting,
then
Oprah
gave you the cosign. Go ahead.
Right. I'm saying no, but I'm walking into your point about the Bible Belt because where the bulk of where his material is, where it presides, right, is on channels or arenas where that base is centralized. It's centralized, right?
Yeah.
So I'm making a dumb comparison. So for example, Tyler Perry's never going to be on CBS. I think he can't.
Listen, they don't care about nothing. They only care about is if you're making the money.
Well, where he is now, what I'm saying is where he is now is irrelevant. Tyler Perry could be on any type of channel he wants to be on where he is now. But I'm saying, but in his as he built his bones, right? Going back to how he built his bones, what his base was. Like I'm speaking to you now, because you answered the question by saying the statement. I said, I haven't seen Tyler. Are you watching BET? Right, and that's a very good response because that response speaks to what's that base? The BET base, right? Their base core demographic is, that you know what I'm saying. I mean,
Bible Belt
to an extent.
Yeah.
It can't. Let me say that it can't exist without it. Put it that way. It can't exist without it, right? It'll be fine, but if it's missed, there's a big hole
We're
there.
from the Northeast, so some of that shit to us is corny,
right.
So, but down there, they love it, and he's Tyler Perry, and he has the plays. His plays are very popular, have been popular back then, and that's where he got his hardcore fan base.
And I assume the Medea character is a major part of it as well.
Those are once again, we're going to Lionsgate. Those are the films.
Right.
So then he said, yo, I'm going to do these films with Medea, and that kicked off. I used to watch them shits, but that's where he got on. But his first film was, if you watch it from beginning to end, you'll say, yo, this is a good film. You would actually, I don't know if you saw it, you'd actually say, damn, this is a good film. Then he started getting a little slap comedies, slapstick, with the Medea and the thing, and a couple of those were good, but then it started getting, kind of cheese. But Tyler Perry's a beast. I commend him because he built a studio down. Hollywood's going down in his studios and using that shit.
Right, as a template.
His soundstage is insane, from what I understand. And one thing about him, he's hiring this, right? He's hiring this. He's not hiring that. He's hiring this.
Okay. Again, so
we can't make fun of him making nigger movies. He doesn't make nigger movies. He makes black films. This is why
nigger
movie is I got a gun, I'm shooting you, and my girlfriend name is Shanique. Don't say you. Whatever. Shantwanda. Right? That's a black urban film, and it's shot bad and it looks bad and. That's the
no, but that's why I want you to that's why I want you to expound upon it though, because that's the part that gets missed. We had a conversation on another podcast about Bruno Mars, right? And the conversation about Bruno Mars
Beast.
Wait. The question was, is he appropriating black culture? Right?
What?
Wait, let me finish. Okay. The question was, is he appropriating black culture? And I defended it by saying you can't do that, and I gave my reasons why. And the reasons why I gave are just as justifiable as your reasons why. Because like I said before, when people are successful, right, there was always reason to say, why is this the case or why should this not be the case? Right? It's like Jay-Z being a billionaire and they saying, what the hell's going on with his hair? Right?
He can do whatever he wants.
But you're walking into my point. I'm not saying he can't do what he wants to do. What I'm saying is that when you get to that level, that's where society goes. They look for something, look for anything. You follow me? So when Tyler Perry opens his own studio, it's built on the backs of him making, Negro movies, or stereotype movies. So what you just said, which is important, is that is not necessarily the case because you broke down why that is. That's why you're here.
I do. Listen.
That's why you're in the room.
Are Nollywood films Negro movies? They'll have all black people in it. Are they Negro movies?
I don't know.
Nollywood films, are they Negro movies?
I don't know.
Negro movies with curry.
What? What? What is it?
He said Negro movies with curry.
That's Nollywood, not
Oh,
Bollywood.
no,
Nollywood,
What's
right?
Nolly-
The
what's
Africans.
What's Nollywood?
Oh,
That's the Africans, homeboy. That's Nigeria, homeboy. They'll destroy you. In terms of,
They'll des-
in terms of,
hold on.
no,
Hold on.
I'm talking about
They'll
film for film,
destroy you.
right? Film for film. These motherfuckers will do animation, CGI,
No, they
green
on it.
screen.
They
They're
on it.
ill.
They're on
They're-
it.
I'm being specifically cynical for a reason, right? So, you know, when we were joking before off camera about Negro movies, we're talking about, you know, My Wife is a Gangster and My Wife is a Gangster Part 2.
I get it.
That stuff.
Right.
But the higher thought is, it is.
I'm from there, so it's okay.
No. I'm not. Make them as you will, but make them well, right?
Thank you.
If you're gonna be a rapper,
Thank
don't
you.
be a mumble rapper.
Thank
right?
you. Thank you. Thank you.
But if we're talking simply on content, right? It's a stereotypical, very thin view of a part of Black existence. The same could be said for Tyler Perry movies, is what I'm saying.
No, absolutely not.
And he's here to defend that.
I'm here to defend that.
He's here to defend that. I'm not agreeing or
How
disagreeing.
dare you put
he
Tyler
dare.
Perry in
Dare.
the same class
He said, "Dare you."
of
already
an
laughing at
urban
that point.
film? You gotta understand. You gotta understand.
Urban
There's
film for girls.
think of, I'm gonna put it in music terms for you. There's classically trained pianists, right? There's the dude who just knows his shit, who's not classically trained, and then there's somebody who's just faking the funk and doing their shit. That's who you're talking about. Those urban filmmakers.
No, that's
Then you
not-
got somebody who, that's me, who just, I'm ill and no, that's not even me. But you got somebody who just knows his shit. Then you got somebody who's classically
I'm
trained.
definitely jumping on this one. I'm ill.
Classically trained. I'll battle anybody. Yo, I look at film like rappers look at MCing. Oh, let's battle. Let's go. Right?
Fucking
So,
deadly.
No. Over here, it's classically trained. I went to film school.
No. Oh, see, that's it. That's why I
because
agree
they
with
don't
you.
know their shit either.
No. That's now that
I'm
one.
in the middle.
Now that
I'm
one.
done.
Now that one we 1,000% agree upon.
I'm done.
Okay, that's
Go ahead.
because definitely the film creating that was speaking to we're going to land at. Now we're going to land at
Film for film, Ken.
is the rapper
Let's go.
is the rapper that watches the video music box. And
I'm
then
sorry?
it's the rapper that watches the video music box.
Go ahead.
And then says, you know what? Let me get a pad and a pen. And I'm gonna start writing. Because I saw that, I could do that too. You might see, this is where you're messing up. This is where you think you're getting a little crazy now. A little
Right.
crazy, okay?
Right.
Now, the thing about filmmaking that I always overly respected, and the thing that I fight about when it comes to other levels of entertainment, and I've given this example that's completely different from entertainment, but makes
Right.
sense, okay? You just can't, because here's what some of these filmmakers do and some of these rappers are doing. They're waking up one morning and saying, I want to be a doctor. Okay, they're waking up and saying, I'm gonna be a doctor. And I'm gonna start cutting people on Thursday.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Right. Because I'm gonna be a doctor. Rather than recognizing that there's a whole education process here that you do before you start cutting. Okay. And that's where our culture gets in trouble while this conversation has legs. Because a lot of people are saying, I'm using the doctor example again now, okay? That I'm gonna start cutting people. I'm gonna start, you know what? I think if I get some bat venom, okay, and I get some vitamin C, and I get some, and I'm melted outside with some CO2. I think I have the vaccine.